Good morning. It is Sunday morning, time for Coffee Talk. I've got my coffee, nice French roast this morning. It's not too early. It's 7:17. Kind of a leisurely morning. You can see I three marked my tiger. Channel news right there. Three marked my tiger. Did that on the stream. Been a busy World of Tanks week. A lot of stuff going on. We finished up the black market. We still have the RBFM marathon going on. The new missions are starting. Don't forget your codes. We'll talk about that in a minute. What else we got going on? There's a Tiger 2C you can get. We'll talk about that off of Care Package Echo. Talk about how you can get that. Tank Rewards has returned. Tank Rewards has returned. A little bit different, but you can still get some premium tanks. A couple weird rules in there. We'll talk about that as well. And there's a cryptic shell rebalancing message that is out for the test server or the sandbox server. So it looks like maybe they're thinking of a different idea than potentially the reduce of the alpha, or reduce the damage and leave the pin. So we'll see what comes of that. It's not supposed to start till this week, and it is sandbox. So that's the one where they just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and a lot of times it doesn't. So it's not a hey, here's what's coming, but it is an interesting thing because it indicates that maybe the ideas they had for the rebalance of the ammo with reducing damage isn't exactly what they want, right? Maybe it's not exactly what we want. So that's what we got coming on. Let's move on to channel news. All right, channel news. What have we been doing? Well, still releasing a video a day as usual. Got quite a bit of streaming in the last 2 weeks, but my days as Class B Bachelor are numbered. My wife returns on Monday. Dun, dun, dun. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. She's been gone for 2 weeks out at a wedding of a cousin in England. So enjoying visiting all her English relatives. But I will at that point have less time to stream. So I've actually put quite a few streams in, well, in relation to how many I usually do anyway, relative to how much I stream. But I think I'll be able to stream next Thursday, 0900 to 1200 standard morning stream. So look for that potentially. This is not a promise because I've got a lot of stuff going on next week, but that's where I think I'm going to be able to squeeze in a stream. That sounded really bad. I'm pretty sure you're not. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't say squeeze in a stream. I should edit that out, but I'm going to leave it. Remember, my invite code is Guido Grind, Guido Grind. That's going to give you a RAM 2, 800 gold, some personal reserves, and 3 days. 3 days of premium time, and that will start you off nicely, especially with a pretty nice little medium. I have a RAM 2 review, not review, but replay coming up from one of you guys, so stand by for that if you're interested and you want to see how it plays. A really good game. I can't remember who sent it, but anyway, I've got that video in the hopper coming up next. And that is pretty much it for channel news. Like I said, I three marked the Tiger 1 on the stream. That's kind of one of the goals I've been running after for a while, and I just sat down and decided, no kidding, we're going to do it on stream. And it was an up and down battle. It took me about 3 streams to do it. And on the last one, last game, no kidding, I was able to three mark it, shut down the stream, high five, and off I went. The next thing I did, and we're actually going to talk about this in subjects du jour when we get there, is I did a thing I called summer camp, and we're going to talk about that because I basically played like a base camping TD player, and there were some interesting results on that, but we'll talk about it when we get there. No real surprises, actually, to be quite honest. All right, let's move on to missions and specials. It's time to shill. Well, all right, what do we have in the offing? Some interesting things, actually. I was surprised to see the Carnivon. I didn't notice it was in there. There's only 22 hours left. Didn't they just sell that on the black market, right? Wasn't it one of them? I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she will die. I don't know. Very strange. Centurion is in there. The VC Firefly. The Premium Combat car. Premium Combat. Maybe that's a resolution thing. Maybe I should change my resolution and see if things change. I don't know. Do you guys see that? It just says Premium Combat car, which is what it is. But The ISU 130, the Sledgehammer, as they advertise it on the main page, is for sale. Somebody asked me about whether they would like the SU 130 or the ISU 130. Asked me if it was a good tank, and then I gave them advice, but they had already bought it before I told them what to do. No, I'm just kidding. They're a collector, so they got it anyway. But they were asking the question about it, and I basically said, look, it's an interesting tank at tier and lower tier, and it does struggle against some of the tier 8s as well. It's really good because it's got a pretty dang good DPM, big gun, but the penetration is 215, and the gold round is less penetration for more damage. So it's a weird tank overall, and it's got some strange ammo, but you're going to struggle against tier 9s and 10s with the ISU 130. People say, well, just go to HE. You can, but it's only a 130 millimeter. It's not like it's a 152 reloading real fast, so it's barely better than a 122 really, although they have one HE-ish round or damage, whatever it is. That's higher with the gold rounds. You get my point, though. It's a weird, maybe you don't, because I'm not making it very well. It's a weird TD. Don't think of it as an ISU 152. It's quite different from that. Kind of a niche tank, but if you get a hold of some lightly skinned tanks, it will be the Sledgehammer and start dishing out the pain. Obviously weak points, but it's an ISU, so it's not the most accurate thing ever. All right, we got the 1357. The prototype is out there as well down there at the bottom. Whoops, what do we got for gold? Nothing much going on. We got the quick starter kit. We've talked about that before. It's a pretty good deal. There's nothing in the premium account deal that's different than usual. Notice that it is now the watt premium that they're selling in here, and from this page you cannot get the overall premium. In fact, I don't know where you get the overall premium, to be quite honest. They talked about being able to still buy it, but I don't know where you would get it. Somebody mentioned down below if you know. Not that anyone would want it. If you're playing watt, you want watt premium for sure for all the benefits. Again, to the vehicles, for some reason the AX is now below the Centurion. There's the premium combat. I think there was one other, I don't know if there's one other thing I wanted to talk about here. No, just the ISU. And going over to specials. What else do we have? Nothing big. The VC's out, like I said. And there was one other thing. Oh, this was it. I can't. Why on earth, if on your main page, the ISU 130 Sledgehammer is advertised as being in the store, why is it buried at the bottom of your, is it featured or specials? Specials page. Is it at the top on featured? I don't think so. No. What's at the top on your featured is the tank you actually sold in the black market. Because oh boy. All right. Well, there you go, folks. There's no telling. There's no telling why that kind of thing happens. Well, I think it's kind of low effort, isn't it, when they put that together? I love you guys. I do. Wargaming, but sometimes your stuff on the webpage is low effort. It just has to be said. It's kind of like this coffee talk where I just turn it on and start talking, right? Oh man, don't you love hypocrisy? Sit here and give them all kinds of grief and call them low effort, and meanwhile I'm like the king of low effort. All right, it's all good. Let's move on. Where are we going? All right. Oh, missions. Quite a bit actually on missions, so let's get started with that. Okay, folks, codes are back. So remember, it's the beginning of the month. Your play your tank class right, some of these other things are going to require a code. The good news is go to the web page, the main page here, click play your tank, type right, and go down here and redeem your code. And instead of one code, it's 4. Oh, yeah. So you have to click on it. The good news also is that it automatically puts your code. I can't wrap my mind around this. I really can't. Now they've automated the code to make it easier, but it's a code that makes it harder. So what the hell is going on? Anyway, also too, and at the same time, it was said that potentially we were going to get better stuff because we were putting in codes, and I don't think it's actually any better. It's the same rewards as far as I can tell. Is it more experience? Maybe it's some more experience. I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to have appreciably changed for the effort. All right, so anyway, we get back to there. So put your codes in also to, and at the same time. There, I'm going to keep hitting that every time. Hold on a minute. That's much better. All right, much better. Tank rewards. There's no code for tank rewards, I don't believe. Click on tank rewards, and it tells you. I will get into this in just a minute when we get into the client. One thing I want you to note, though, is on tank rewards, if you want to know what tier each of these missions takes, it's actually here on the page. It does not happen to be in the client, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So tank rewards is there as well. Put in all your codes, folks. It's codes. All right, that's it. Let's go to the client. Alrighty, play your tank class right. You will note that you have heavy, you have tank destroyer, you have medium, and heavy, and you don't have light. For some reason, the light tank missions aren't showing up. Lots of people have sent that in. I don't know what the problem is, and I haven't heard anything on it. Just be aware. Whether they actually work, even though they're not up there, I don't know. I haven't messed around with it. Sheridan is on track. It goes to 3 June. The WZ-132-1 is on track, goes to 3 June. That is tomorrow. So if you're grinding those on tracks, you have 1 day to do it. Supply rate is the standard weekend missions. Standard, not much else to add there. No code for that, thank goodness. You don't need a code for that. Here's the tankrewards.com missions. All right, we may actually go back over to the tank rewards. There are tiers of rewards for tank rewards. You get these stamps for doing these things. Play a battle, pretty easy, you get 10 stamps. Top 3, you get 20 stamps. Top 3 get 20, top 3 get 20. You might say, top 3 what? Why are they all top 3? Well, because they're split out by tier, but you wouldn't know it by the card because they didn't put it on there. So if you want to know in client, which I just told you on the web page where you can find out what tiers they are, you have to click down to select a vehicle and then you will see what tiers they are, but you have to scroll and figure it out, but I have figured it out for you. Tier 4 to 6, tier 7 and 8, tier 9 and 10. So, thank goodness they didn't just put it on the card because that would have saved me 15-20 minutes of figuring it out. Anyway, there it is. It's different for the tiers. So let's actually jump back over here to in real time the web page and back to the tank rewards. And then you have to click again. Thanks, Wargaming, for all the clicks. This happens to be a different web page or website. It's tankrewards.com, not off of the regular Wargaming landing site over there. Road to Victory, D-Day. All right, so play 1 battle, get 10. If you do Omaha, click on Utah. It tells you what you do. It actually has the tier restrictions right there, so you can see it on this page as well. Juno, sword. All right. Copy. I have done 50, or I have achieved 50 of these stamps. Why it has to be 10 and 20 and can't be 1 and 2, I don't know. But I think it's one of those psychological things that they feel like if you're scoring more points, it's better. There you go. It could be 1 million or 1 billion for, I guess. The point is, if you get enough, in this case 300, you get to pick one of those booster packs. That's how it works. So I get 300 of these. When I do that, when I manage 300, then I click on, I'm assuming these go live, and you click on one, and that's what comes. Interesting that there's a 10% coupon. So 6 experience, or 4 2-hour experience, or 2 100% bonus to experience, and 100% bonus for 1 hour. This is a strange breakout. Interest. You get 5. This is 4 because it's for 2 hours. So there you go, to taste, whatever you want. 1 hour or 2 hour versions of those. You get to tier 2. Pretty cool. You get a garage slot and a piece of equipment, whichever one you select. That's what you get, and another coupon. Monetization, baby. Bring on the monetization. Tier 3. Kind of cool, actually. Blueprints. Look at that. USA, German, or USSR. Three of the major food groups right there. I don't know. Why not just put 7 or 8 or whatever the total number of nations are? Why not just let them pick? I don't get it. I don't know. That'd be cool. I think I would have just put all 8 or 9 or whatever we have now of nations on there. But I'm not running the place, am I? No, not even close. Not even close. Tier 4. All right, so this is the cool part. I get to 1300, and I'm going to get a free Tier 6 premium tank. And those are 3 good ones. This one's okay. This one is very good, as well as the Cromwell B. And it's a good, but not nearly on the level of these other 2. But here's the rub. As of right now, if you own those tanks, I happen to own all 3. You don't get the gold, and even better, apparently you're not getting the silver either. I don't know. Why would they do that? That makes 0 sense. It's not like the silver for these is that much anyway. It's wow. That was an amazing decision to me. And very I don't know, just cheap, right? Just a poke in the eye for no reason. You put out this cool mission thing. Who cares? It's for the entire community, right? It's tank rewards. Let's play our game, get rewards. And oh, by the way, if you've already played our game a lot and supported us and bought these tanks, well, screw you. I do not get that decision. I was irritated when they took the gold away from it, but I do understand where they're coming from on that. And you can actually extrapolate that over to silver because they sell silver for money too. So I do understand that it's in-game goods, and that is stuff they monetize, but they're giving the stuff away for free to players that don't have it. And just because you also have bought it, you don't get the same thing. That's really cheesy. Really cheesy. What I don't know is because it's the +1 item right here, you might get the garage slot. So if you're playing anyway and you manage to do it, maybe you end up with another garage slot. Maybe. I don't quote me on that because I don't know if that's necessarily true. All right, enough of the tank rewards mess. Let's get out of there. Go away, tank rewards. You're irritating me. This is cool right here. We are going to actually talk about this later, the Tiger 2C, but the Echo care package from Twitch Prime has missions attached to it. And I will talk about the Tiger C in just a minute, how you get it and all that. But as far as the missions go, this is another one that has me going. I don't know why. Apparently, what it looks like, and this seems to be true based on what I've been playing, only the Tiger 2C trips the missions. And what are the rewards for said missions? Well, the rewards for said missions are combat experience. Combat experience. So, I don't know. This may be going to the crew. This may be going to the crew, in which case that is actually a good deal. Or, like, I can't remember which other mission it is, it may just be disappearing. There's another mission, I'll see if I can remember when I get there, but as I did it, the experience went nowhere. I didn't get any of the experience. I can't remember, it was just a recent one. It did not seem to go to my crew, it did not seem to go onto my tank. I just didn't get anything out of it. So I don't know if we've got the same situation here. This experience piled on top of tanks that are a leaded thing in the game right now is jacked up. And there seems to be different rules for different missions. I really wish they would standardize it because it's really irritating. Really irritating. And there's never any really good documentation on it or explanation of when you will get the experience, when you won't. You know, if it's deleted, it's not going to your crew, or it is going to your crew, or I don't know. There's so many missions piled on top of other missions. It's very difficult to understand what's going on, and it feels like a lot of times you simply don't get it because you've already unlocked the tank or whatever it is. And if that is the intention, then please write it out so we understand what we're doing. So I don't waste time maybe trying to get some experience on something I'm not going to get. Right? You've enticed me to play the game. Fantastic. I like playing the game. I enjoy the rewards. It makes me feel better about playing the game. And then I get to the end and I get screwed because you haven't given me the whole truth. That's heinous. See, now I'm on a bit of a rant here, actually, because I didn't realize I was as irritated about that as I am. That's the bad old days, right? I thought we turned that corner like a year or two ago. I really did, and that kind of stuff that's the bad old days. That's stuff I thought we were past to a large extent, and it's really getting irritating. Anyway, wah wah wah. Other missions, da da da. Nothing going on there really. And then the premium missions. Remember, those go on if you've got the premium account. Fire that up. All right. DDay Marathon. There's a lot going on missions wise. Today is the 10th. Wait a minute. Oh, it's not 9 o'clock yet. Okay, never mind. Today will be this one when it's unlocked, and today you can get your RBFM. So if you've been doing all these missions today, you finish the 10th mission here, and it is damage tank destroyers 7 times. That one's a weird one, but whatever, that's cool. You're going to get a slot, you're going to get your RBFM, you're going to get a crew, and it happens to be a crew with enough experience to get 1 skill. So you're going to have actually pretty decent RBFM crew right off the bat. And a bit annoying because you're going to have to retrain it into whatever French TD crew you want it to be. And if you remember my review of it, the French TD crews are all over the place. But I think there's enough guys in this RBFM to cover most of them. Even though they won't perfectly match, there's enough types of guys in there. You may have to retrain 1 or 2 depending on which one you're doing. But in any event, that's cool. It's a good crew. Okay. That's everything. Let's move on to subjects du jour. Well, all right. Do you want a free Tier 7 Tiger 2 captured just like this right here? Well, all you have to do is be a Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime. It'd be surprising to me if you were a Twitch Prime and not an Amazon Prime, because Twitch Prime comes with Amazon Prime. I don't know what the relative prices are, but if you're like me and you got a wife who loves to win at the internet by saving me all kinds of money by buying stuff from Amazon and having it shipped, then then you should have Amazon Prime as well. And then you automatically get Twitch Prime. You link the accounts, you link it with your Wargaming account, and then you get the care packages from Twitch. This happens to be Care Package Echo. I believe you can get it until 1 July or 30, whatever it is, 30 June. It ends on 1 July. And it comes with this tank, which is actually pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good at Tier 7. A captured Tiger 2. It's more or less a stock, maybe slightly above stock, Tiger 2 at Tier 7. And you get First Lieutenant Hank the Tank Morgan, who, as you can see, comes with a lot of skills. I've actually reset his skills. This was a discussion I had on stream about whether you lose any of those skills when they have the free 0 skill and blah, blah, blah. You do not. I respect this guy, and I lost nothing out of it. Using gold, of course. If you go with silver, you are going to lose quite a bit out of it. I do not recommend that. But for 200 gold, I respect him because he came with a weird... He had, not mentor, but jack of all trades, 6 cents, and repairs, I think. So I changed him to 6 cents, brothers in arms, recon, and then his 4th one is repairs. And you see I've played it a little bit, so I've ground it up. This is one of the Christmas individuals, and then these are 3 of the Excalibur mission individuals here. And remember, they all come brothers in arms and another skill, and they're working on their 3rd. So right off the bat, I put this crew together, and I got a fantastic crew in my King Tiger capture. All right, here's the deal with this. I said it was free. Obviously, you've got to pay Twitch or Amazon, whichever one you want. It is a permanent rental. As long as you have Twitch Prime, then and Twitch exists, I assume. I mean, if Twitch stopped tomorrow, I suppose this goes away. It's a partnership with Wargaming, blah blah blah. Then this thing is in your garage, right? You clicked on it. I got it. I got the crew. I don't think First Lieutenant Morgan goes away if Twitch goes away. I don't know that. I also don't know if you can get stuff out of the tank when it goes away. So my recommendation is, if you're going to turn any of that off and you can think about it, I would strip everything off of the tank and then and then stop your Twitch account. At which point you will not have any more access to the King Tiger captured. How is it? Probably slightly worse than the Tiger 1 in my estimation. The DPM is pretty low, but the armor is amazing at Tier 7. It's got a lot of armor. So the armor of the Tiger 2, which is workable at 8 but not great at Tier 7, is pretty amazing. Minus the big flat plate this area right here on the front of the turret, although that is a relatively small area right there. Also, too, and at the same time, remember it is an American heavy tank, not a German heavy tank. So you're training American crews in the King Tiger. Kind of cool. It's got a cool skin. You can actually take that skin off. It's the Tiger 2 captured skin that comes with it. You can put other camo on there if you want to, but that skin's not going to go on anything else. It's only camo for this. It's got the cloth marker over the Iron Cross right there in the whole 9 yards. So pretty cool. All right. Next thing, so I was streaming, and I decided, because I had seen a lot of it, I decided to say, hey, what is the allure, right, of camping at Cap? Because I had seen a bunch of it. I actually got yelled at by an M44, so it's not a TD, but sitting at Cap, and I had fallen back, and I actually went to the other side of the guy. I'm like clicking on him, trying to get him to move. So he yells at me at the end. We lose. He yells at me at the end about how I'm farming and Uniscum and all that stuff. And I had some other TD events, people sitting at the Cap. So I decided, you know what is the deal with sitting at the Cap? So I had summer camp. I had summer camp because school is over, and I figured, you know what's it like to go to summer camp? So I grabbed my JP and I played 20 battles in it, camping at Cap. And the rules were, I could not go forward at the beginning. I could move to get shots if the shots were on a map where there were fairly close shots to get while staying at Cap, basically. An example of that is not Glacier. Is it not Glacier? What's it called? The one with the glacier, the 3 lanes, and you shoot across the middle, the hole there, because scouts can spot. Anyway, whatever it's called. So that, for example, on that one, I moved up, got a shot, and then I could go back and hang out by the Cap. What did I find out while doing that? Well, no big surprise. I was completely and utterly dependent on the team. There was one game where, with my full hit points at the end, I was able to save the Cap and keep the win. There was another game, and it was the last one, where I actually moved out and helped clean up the rest of the enemy. That was not per the rules. I did cheat a little bit, but it was the last game of the series of 20, and it actually brought me 11-9. And I figured sometimes the camping TD guy will actually move forward and help, but it was well past the time when I should have been moving around, and I know the team was irritated. And other times, I sat there and I had a win where I had 75 hit points of damage and 1 kill. I had a loss where I had 0 damage because we just got rolled up. There was one where I was sitting in a bad place, got spotted, obliterated, that kind of thing. So what did I learn basically is you're reliant on your team. You're doing your team no favors by sitting at Cap, even with the idea of I'm going to clean up any of the bad guys that get to the Cap, because the game is typically sorted out before you even have a chance to get involved. So once again, proving that you really need to get forward and get your gun in the game. I didn't learn, and maybe I was a little bit biased going into it because already it sounds like, hey, I learned what I thought I was going to learn. And 20 is a small sample size, but really, you don't need much of that to kind of understand that's what's going to happen if you sit around Cap in your TD all day. That is what's going to happen. All right, Black Market. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. You go to the store. The little dude is not showing up here. It kind of went out with a whimper, didn't it? It had a great start. This is the danger of doing this live, is it takes forever to load the content. And it's gone, right? All that time just to show you that. It went out with a bit of a whimper. Started off really interesting with the Black Dog, and got worse, I guess, really from there. There were a couple interesting things. The 59G was an interesting offering. We talked about that last week. Would have been better for me if they'd have just done the regular Type 59. I don't know why it had to be the gold one, nor why especially that one had to be so few. Some of the things sold out, some of them did not. The T-34B showed up twice because there was some kind of snafu over in the CIS, so on the RU server. And that was nice of them to just redo it and let it get sorted out. I did pick up some tanks, though. I ended up with the Alpine Tiger. I won't show you, it's an Alpine Tiger. But I also got 2 other interesting tanks. This is one I've been wanting for a while. It's not amazing, the Hydrostat, but it is pretty cool. It does remind me a lot of the old, it's not the Schmaltrum turret necessarily, but it does remind me a bit of the old Panzer IV Schmaltrum. And then there's this bad boy, which is very interesting. This is a Panther hull with a Panzer IV turret on top of it, some kind of prototype action there. And at tier 5, a Panther hull is pretty beastly. Also, it's very large and heavy and rams like crazy. It reminds me a bit of the Awful Panther, a little bit, but it's a medium, not a light tank. And it's a pretty good tank. I know that there's a couple, I think Sircon actually has a video out of just ramming things to death constantly on Fisherman's Bay. Pretty funny video, check that one out. But I was glad to get this. I think this was a beta tester or pre-order tank, as I recall, and they were very rare. Now they're much less rare because a bunch of idiots like me bought it. So I did pick up 3 tanks. Didn't really need the Alpine, but I just wanted that as a collector, and I had the gold, so I did that. And then I got these 2 tanks, which I have enjoyed quite a bit. So black market's over. Will we see it again? I don't know. Hope so. Hope so. We talked about tank rewards. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about on that. The last thing then is, the last thing I want to talk about is a cryptic message on the web page. We'll go ahead and bring up the second monitor here about special shells rebalancing. Last December, we announced rebalancing to be a priority, and news became one of the hottest topics. Forthcoming changes garnered plenty of suggestions, carefully analyzed feedback. We also launched several super tests, experimenting with settings and tweaking the mechanics, while studying the feedback from our testers. Now we finally gathered all the necessary data and are ready to share more information. Then why are we doing a different test? Okay. That seems odd. From June 4 to 10, we're launching a new round of special ammo rebalancing tests. Our test opens are an alternative special ammo concept will be featured. How do you check between those two? What's the relationship between, hey, we got all the info we need and we're doing something different? No transparency. Different than the ones we outlined. Full details of the changes will be announced. All right, fair enough. They're going to tell us, hopefully. Testing will last only 1 week. Wow. That's not a lot of testing. Hopefully there's a lot of people testing. At least time doesn't necessarily matter as long as you get enough data or sample. Size. How can I take part? All right, you can join the sandbox and do that if you want to. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Sometimes I read stuff and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me in regards to the way they explain what they're doing. Sometimes because I'm dumb, I read stuff and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Happens. It happens. Alrighty. Alright, folks, that is it. Other than the forum post of the week, and initially I wasn't going to do one because there wasn't anything that was interesting. You know what? Earlier I mentioned that there were no light tank, player tank class right missions. Well, it appears play your tank right missions will not work, and it appears that they don't work right now. So all those codes and no worky, and because it's Sunday, more than likely ain't going to get fixed until tomorrow when everyone comes in to work. Maybe, if they've got people on call that can figure it out, but oh man, I don't know. There's also some people saying it seems to be fixed. Take a look at it. Maybe it does work. I don't know. It seems like this is just nearly every time. So that is all I've got, guys. Have a good Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow for Miserable Monday. Should stream on Thursday. I need a goal. I don't know what my goal is right now. I need a new goal. I may try to 3-mark a different tank. Maybe I'll pick one of these new ones, like this guy right here, and give it a shot. But I'll think about it as we go, and I edit this, and we'll get on to Miserable Monday as well. I think I've got some good Miserable Monday content. And that's pretty much it. For you new guys, if you need any replay analysis, I just did a big one for Blackstone. You need a replay analysis, or you got a really great game you'd like to feature on the channel, keep on sending in those things. I got a good core of about 12 people who send stuff, but anyone else who's watching this, you want your stuff on you want your replay on the channel, feel free to send it. Put it onto the Watt Replays site. Send me the link to that particular replay. I'll download it and check it out. That's all I've got, guys. Thanks for coming by. We will see you.